Hello everyone, Louise here, and today we're going to look at a curriculum vitae. Now, this is an example of a good curriculum vitae. Around the internet, there are many different examples you can find of CVs, many different styles, and if you have a CV that you're happy with, then don't worry. This is not to say that this is the perfect one and yours is not the right one, but this is just a good example of one that is recommended for use in Ireland. A friend of mine who works as a careers advisor gave me this example of a CV, and my own CV follows the same layout, and it's one that I think it's quite a good one. So let's have a look. Let's begin with the top. Now, one interesting thing here at the top, there is no CV. You don't have to write curriculum vitae across the top. That's not necessary. We know it's a CV. From the layout, from what's included, employment, work, position, we know it's a CV. So don't put CV at the top. Now, there is no photo, there's no picture of yourself here. Some of the Europass CVs include a space for a photo, and some jobs may ask you to include a photo, in which case, if they ask you to include a photo, of course you must. This one doesn't have one, and I don't feel personally it's necessary, but of course it will depend on the job you're applying for. Okay, so look at the bit here. Right in the middle of the page, we have name and address, contact details. My page is not very straight, so we have to imagine that it's straighter. I don't know why that's just a little bit at an angle there, but anyway, we can imagine. So you have the name, just in case, address, postcode, home phone number and mobile number. You may not have a home phone. I mean, a lot of people don't, so you just have your mobile here. And underneath, email address. Now, one interesting thing about the email address, here you have justincase@gmail.com. It's a good idea if you're applying, and I'm sure the job you're applying for will be a professional job. Be careful with your email address. What was a good idea 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when you were younger and more foolish perhaps? A funny email address was that funny, but it's not exactly a great idea if you're applying for a job where you want to hold a professional role or you want people to take you seriously. So try and come up with an email address which is neutral, which doesn't show your sense of humor, which doesn't show your political leanings. Basically, it's neutral and professional, like this one, justincase@gmail.com. Anything else, I mean, you want to make a good impression. And many times the people who look at these CVs, they don't have a lot of time, and you don't want to include something that's going to make them look at your CV unfavorably. We want to make a good impression. So if your email address is kind of funny, change it, to something a little bit more straightforward. So next little bit we're going to look at. Now, this bit, in my opinion, is probably the most important part of the CV. Now, as we'll see further on in this, Justin Case, has a lot of experience and a lot of things to put on his CV. But if you are an employer and you are looking for someone for a job, maybe you have a lot of applications, you have a lot of CVs to look at. Maybe you don't have time to look at every single point. So the skills profile must be strong enough to hook the attention of the employer. And maybe if it's the only thing the employer reads, then it has to show you. It has to show your strengths. It has to show something about your experience. It has to mirror your best, most positive points. So look at this one here in Justin. So you have your skills profile underlined and bullet pointed. Oh, another point on the font. It's all the same. Don't have different fonts. So here, for example, is Times New Roman. Here is Calibri. Here is Comic Sans. No, just stick to the one font. Again, it looks more professional. So, skills profile. We have 12 years administration experience in a variety of roles. Oof. And we see a little mistake here. Always with this. We should have, shouldn't we have an apostrophe here? Possessive. Well, 12 years administration in a variety of roles. Okay. Certificate in Advanced Microsoft PowerPoint, Outlook, Word, Excel. Excellent communication, organizational and interpersonal skills, and a proven ability to multitask, work under pressure, and meet deadlines. Now, when I'm teaching in a regular class, in a regular classroom, and if I'm doing a lesson about the CV, this one I would spend a lot of time writing. Because, of course, you could just copy this, But the more exact or the more tailored it is to you, the better. So here at the top, you have your 12 years admin experience. Again, 2 years, 1 year experience in a variety of roles, in whatever job this is. What certificates do you have? What qualifications? What diplomas do you have here? This one, I imagine, maybe the job that Justin is looking for. It says in the advertisement that you need to know Microsoft PowerPoint, Outlook, Word, Excel. So, quite rightly, he has included this fact in his skills profile so the employer can see it straight away. Next one, excellent communication, organizational, interpersonal skills. Everybody needs these. If you want to work in an office, you want to get on with people, you have to say this. And proven ability to multitask, work under pressure, and meet deadlines. Again, these two here, you can tailor so that they reflect your personality and your strengths and your weaknesses. One point here, if you say proven ability to multitask, work under pressure, and meet deadlines, and if you get an interview, well, it's very likely they will ask you about this proven ability to multitask. So don't put anything in here that you are not able to back up 100%. Communication, these are harder to prove in an interview, but this one they will ask you. They might say, oh, so give me an example of when you had to multitask. Give me an example of when you had to work under pressure and you managed to meet a deadline. It's very important. I know the idea is that people bend the truth in their CV, but here in this, don't write anything that you can't back up with an example. So, this is your skills profile. Now, anybody, if you're watching this and you want to work on your skills profile, please feel free to write up one, and I'm happy to look at it for you. I'm not an expert, I will say that. I don't work in careers advisory. Just over the years, I have seen a lot of CVs, a lot of cover letters, and I'm happy. I'm happy to help you out if I can. Super. So that's the skills profile. Now, I think, as I said, this is the most important bit. And this one is well worth spending a lot of time on. But let's look at what comes next. We have here, under the skills profile, we have employment history. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about this job here because obviously each person will have a different role, different duties. But look at the layout, is very nice. You have employment history in bold, underlined, the date from April 02 to June 09, position, here, duties, here. Now, when you are putting in your duties here, you notice something. You have creating user accounts, managing, liaising. This could be IT phones. He could have said providing IT phones support, processing, logging, prioritizing, and key member. That's quite good. So you don't say, I created user accounts, I manage the office administration. You better keep it as an ing, creating, managing, whatever, for your duties. Look at the next one. Again, you have here. Oh, there's a thing I forgot to mention. We start, obviously, with the most recent one. I apologize, this CV is a little bit, it needs updating, it's a little bit old. But we start with 09, which was the latest, and now we're going backwards, as it were. Always start with the most recent. Again, the employer doesn't have time to flick through your CV to find the most up-to-date information. There we go. Again, date, position, duties, positions. And here, this is interesting. So there's more than one. Held a number of positions. A variety of roles I worked in helped me to have excellent. This is quite a good little paragraph here to introduce it. And then these were all the jobs that he worked in. I was very successful in every position I was placed in by primary. That's very good. So, okie dokes. There we go. 01, traveling around the world. Chadwick's admin. More information. So he took a year off to travel, including working in Australia. Nice. And that's it. That's his first page. Now, I'm just going to pause you for 1 second while I look at the second page. Okay, we're back in the room. So this is the second page. Now, I don't want to go through it all with you because I'm very aware we have a limit on YouTube videos. So you have there, that's the end of his work experience now. So this one, perhaps he wasn't paid for. And then you have education. Okay. Dates, course, module. All the information there. Any training he did at work, perhaps. Next we have voluntary experience. Any voluntary experience he's had. And then hobbies. Okay, so these are his hobbies. Enjoy walking and spending quality time with family and friends. Very good. And the last one then, references. Now, he has 2 names here. What you could do is just say references available on request. And that should cover everything. Okie doke. So that's a good example of a CV. Now, if you're at home and if you want to do a CV, please feel free to have a look at it. Have a look at this one and adapt yours and send it on to me. You know where I am. You can find me on the Facebook page or here on YouTube. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.